Sup, lokes? Sup, fam? I'm just kidding. So we're here again at the drawing board. What I'm gonna do as promised and show some things that you guys had some questions about. I noticed a lot of the questions are equipment related or like workflow related. As far as equipment goes, that's my computer. You can definitely get faster. I have 16 gigs of RAM, and I run it in Logic in 64-bit mode. Now, this is something I learned the other day that 64-bit mode does, is basically when you load plugins, 32-bit mode like uses 3 gigs of RAM at the most, and these plugins are all in 64-bit, which makes them they're able to utilize your whole computer, so all 16 gigs. So basically, my Logic never crashes for me anymore. When before that was a huge problem. So that's my computer specs. As far as monitors, I use KRK 5s, Rocket 5s. Not the best monitors, they're the cheapest monitors you can probably get at Guitar Center or whatever music place you go to. But yeah, that's about it. I definitely A/B stuff occasionally in the headphones and definitely my car and stuff, which is important when you're mixing and whatever. A lot of the other questions are as far as like what synths do you use in synths, like a synthesis tutorial. And basically, the way all these sounds are made is you'll see that there's almost no MIDI. This is MIDI because it's sine wave. It's because, ooh, that constant sine wave. My drums are MIDI, or my cymbals. But pretty much everything else, yeah, everything is comes from something. You know what I mean? So like, let's go look at what's not MIDI, or what is from an actual. Now basically, my synthesis, I'm not going to go into how to get the sound from Albino, but this is my plug-in chain basically. Ignore this because it's bypassed. Here's the... And then I basically sample it down, and then I process... Resampling is something confusing. Not confusing, it's just... It's very open. There's so many ways you can take a sample. And pretty much all my samples are original samples too. So like I'll make a sound, and then I'll stretch it out, and then I'll process it, and then I'll loop a specific part, and then I'll process that, and then I don't know. It's basically like you can literally resample the same sample down so many times that it just gets almost uncomprehendable to the original sample. And that stuff is a method that you need to learn on your own. I can show you what tools I use to resample, and basically what I look for and whatnot. But I can do that later on, because that's a whole other lesson on its own. Right now I'm just breaking down more of this stuff. The way this track is routed is basically I have a few sub-mixes. And sub-mixes are basically, here's our multimeter that's currently playing nothing. There you are. So I have two different subs. I don't know what that weird clipping sound is from. There, it's gone. I don't know what that was. Now basically I have both these subs in here. And with this, I'm able to control both volumes with one thing. So if I want to raise or lower the level, I can do it just like that. Same with my bass. All right. So all my different bass channels are all put under this, where I can compress and EQ, and this is a little tiny enhancer thing. And then put a limiter at the end. So all of it will be slammed over here, and then it can all be in the same level over here, so you can control all your bass in one thing, which makes it really, really easy. This is my side chain channel, so if this is active, it will... Same with kicks. Now, the sausage fattener is basically just like a saturator in this terms. Like, I use it more for the color, if anything. And the sample's so small that I use for, like, it only really punches that little tiny thing. And these kicks, this snare sample I'm using, this one, sorry, layered with this one, layered with this one. These both samples are samples I made, I think I made them from Vengeance samples, and I did that whole resampling process, where basically I would compress EQ, resample, compress EQ, resample, compress EQ, resample, until eventually it's like the most punchy thing in the world. Damn, right? Just brick wall. And there's two different ones. This one's more of a boom, and this one's a more of like a white noise type of thing. This one's more of a meaty one. And then this one is actually EQ'd, I think, to be subtractive. Yeah, see that? This is where it hits. This is where you feel the snare. And I'm actually killing that little groove. Not killing it, just turning it down. Because I don't want the punch to come from that. I want the punch to come from these. And then I want the sound to come from this. So all together you get... I don't know. What else can I talk about in this project? So that's kind of how things are routed. You'll see that a lot of my bass is... Sign me. There's just millions of flangers and phasers, and none of them are really huge things. They're like minor stuff, minor little flangers and whatnot. I can call them back. So just basically like minor modulation, which is also a good technique for distortion. That instead of using like one omnicide thing and having it cranked, you just do a little bit, and then you do another one, and you keep adding omnicides, and each one you distort differently in a very small amount, and over the course of time, it becomes badass. And I don't know. I should probably do like a thing where what is that called? Where you film something and then you play it back really fast. I can't remember the name of it. I know I've done it before with like metal stuff, but I should probably do it with dance music. That way you'll get to see like kind of the workflow. I know everyone's like, do you start with drums? Do you start with this? And it's like it changes each time. This song I started out with bass actually, which I never do. I actually started out making all these bass patches that I will drag back into my songs. actually showing a friend of mine how I use different plugins to resample, and I actually was making all these ideas, and then I made the drums. I made this little tiny break beat thing, and then I just went from there. I started playing some ideas. I dragged in a didgeridoo sample, and then I spent some time on the keyboards. I really like this melody, the keyboard melody of the song. I'm actually using easy keys to do a lot of it, and actually wrote a lot of it with easy keys. Like I'll make a pattern, and then I can change each thing I want. And that's why I use easy keys. Actually, I'm gonna not follow host, so I won't be playing. But basically, with this program, I'm allowed to put in notes MIDI, and then totally change the key or add this kind of stuff to do it all for me. So I don't have to sit there and look at piano chord websites forever, which I used to have to do. So now everything sounds great, and it's in key, and it's... Yep. So yeah, that's basically a little more of the song. I know it wasn't the best, like kind of walk through in production and whatnot, just because a lot of this is like it's already been done, so it's hard for me to like, yeah, I made this by resampling this 3,000 times and stuff like that. Where like this live drum came together over a period of time. I have the and then you have the live room on it. And that's all submixed into this kit that I drained a lot of this, because that will conflict with the sub. I don't know, it's... Actually, there was one thing I wanted to do with this sample, and that this would be cool to show you guys. Jeez, Louise. See, when I record my screen, the computer gets all kind of slow and weird. Right here. Right here, there's just a kick, and right now it just sounds kind of weird. But I want to have it like go. I don't know, not. I don't know. You get the point of what I was going at. But let's see if I can. Because I don't want this space right here. I kind of like that. I might go back and finalize it for the actual EP. But yeah, there you go. There you go.